I take a step into the new gymnasium. As I inhale my first breath inside, the cool air soothes my throat. Entering into the room, I find the lights brighter than usual and I shield my eyes from the blinding glare. Within the first few steps, I feel the grip between the bottom of my shoes and the floor slowly start to fade. Though it seems slightly hazardous, I ignore it. With my headphones in, my Livestrong bracelet on my left hand, and determination, I walk to the bleachers to drop off my bag. Pulling out my inhaler, I take 2 puffs, which prevent me from losing my breath too quickly. After putting my inhaler back in my bag, I turn around to face the other people trying out for the team. Instantly, my heart stops and a cold shiver rushes up my spine. With one quick glance around the gym, I see about 100 eyes peer right at me. Too stunned to gather my thoughts, I could not think of the reason why. Had I done something wrong? Did I interrupt the meeting or go to the wrong place? Trying to keep my composure, I take another glance and I quickly realize why. Short, fat, and of Asian descent instantly distinguished me from all the people that I now saw in front of me. With that quick glance, I realized that everyone averaged about 6 feet tall, belonged to the Caucasian race, and had the physical fitness of an Olympic star. The 2 puffs from my inhaler had no use anymore, as my nerves overcame me and my breath shortened. As I proceeded to walk toward the others, the floor no longer felt slippery. Rather, I felt a force like gravity pulling me down, probably because of the pressure that I now accumulated all at once. With my head lowered and my body suddenly weak, my spirit sunk with me as I took a seat on the dusty floor. Once the debriefing meeting finishes, I get up and join the others to run laps. As I run for what seemed like 3 hours, my nerves slowly disappear, not because I outshined myself among all the others, but because giving up and accepting defeat seemed like the best option. Once we finish our laps, I walk over to an open area to stretch. As I make my way over, someone unfamiliar comes up to me and says, "You should give up, man. You don't have a chance on this team." I try to ignore his words and I walk into the court to compete on the floor. I attempt to lift myself up with encouraging thoughts. A player on my side serves the ball over and I see the other team setting up for a spike. After the ball leaves the setter's hands, I approach the net to try and block the hitter, who easily exceeded 6 feet tall. Bang! A loud sound fills the gymnasium and it takes me a few seconds to process. The inside of my head feels like a disaster as I try to relieve the pain. Seeing everyone around me laughing, I then realize what had occurred. The captain had just spiked the ball into my face. Filled with embarrassment, I get up from the floor and ask for a sub. As I walk to the side to take a seat, one of the players from last year's team comes up to me and tells me to lose some weight before coming back. At 5 feet 2 inches and weighing more than I should, I knew that his words had some truth to it. My confidence level continued to drop as the negative thoughts and words clouded my mind. After I sub back in, I move to the back of the court to evade the opposing hitters. Trying to avoid the rotation, I keep serving the ball, not knowing that a permanent serving position did not exist in the sport of volleyball. With my bracelet still on my wrist, I repeat the words in my head, trying to motivate myself to not give up. Exhausted from the last day of tryouts, I walk over to get a sip of water and return to the bunch to await my destiny. As I hear my name called, the same cold rush I had previously experienced shoots up my spine. I take a step into the office, and after seeing the coach's expression, I already predict his next words. "Sorry, Nick, you didn't make it. Better luck next year." I thank the coaches for the opportunity of trying out for the team and quickly walk out of the room. Ashamed and crushed, I lower my head, but I can still see the players smirking, as if letting the words "I told you so" slip out from under their breaths. The feeling of defeat overwhelmed me as I thought of all the times I felt like giving up, but pressed on and gave my best effort. Though failure kept playing through my head, I tell myself that I needed to first lose some weight, then prove to them next year that I could in fact make the team. When the last tryout day comes to an end, we line up again on the wall, waiting to hear our fates. With confidence and motivation, I walk into the room, maintaining eye contact with the coach. "Congratulations, Nick, you made the team." Emotional and stunned, no words came out of my mouth. I try to say thank you, but the words come out as a whisper. The feeling of accomplishment overwhelms my entire body, mind, and soul. I nod my head to the coach, hoping that he understood me. Not knowing what to do next, I quickly walk out the door. As I walk out, I imagine the crowd cheering me on as I save the game with a diving pass. Who cares if the coach does not start me and makes me left bench? The short, fat Asian kid just made the volleyball team. Starting from an intense game, I take a towel and dry my head. Once I finish, I get back into the game. The ball comes over the net and into our side of the court. Our passer bumps it and I try to rush and make a play out of it. I get under the ball, but the set moves slightly off. Our outside hitter goes up for it and hits it, but the ball goes straight into the hands of the opposing hitter. Blocked, and a point for them. Instantly, I feel a strong jerk on my collar and a shove that comes right after it. I look up to see my captain yelling, Get back into it, we're losing now. I knew I had made a bad play. Although still feeling shaken, I tried to get the look of shame off my face. I thought to myself, I need to prove myself to them. I tried to forget their racist remarks during practice, such as, he's Asian, no wonder he can't see the ball. Lacking height and an athletic build did not mean I couldn't play volleyball. With weakening confidence, I get myself back in the game. After we lose in the end, I vowed to myself to never let that mistake happen ever again. Now playing the most important game of my life, I knew I could not make any mistakes. With the bleachers filled with people eager to watch the game, I turned to hear them cheering for our team. I had just taken off my warmer jersey, and as I put it down on the bench, I hear them calling my name. Never in my life had I felt this feeling of empowerment. Touched by the crowd, my confidence level took a leap. I walked with my team to meet the other team and shake hands with the players, which they call an act of sportsmanship. As I approach, I see players from the other team glaring at me, the same glare from 3 years ago. I glare back, hoping to hide my feeling of intimidation. After we walk back, our coach gives us instructions. We hear the buzzer and the team separates. I walk into the court, more ready than ever to play. Yes, I've worked my way up the ladder. Now, as the starting setter for the varsity team, the pressure hit I. Although still considerably shorter and fatter than everyone else, I feel like a giant. We have the first serve. I throw the ball up in the air and hit a powerful topspin over the net and into the other side. The ball returns to our end, and our back row player completes a perfect pass to me. I get right on the ball and set it to the outside hitter. The ball comes crashing down, and Colmack has the advantage at 1-0. The game continues with the intensity rising as the points go back and forth. The ball comes to me again. Another perfect set, and our team earns another point. From then on, the routine stays the same. Bump, set, spike. With my final set of the match, our hitter ends the rally and we win 25-21. The second match begins and I walk into the court with my weakened body. Fighting the exhaustion, I keep setting with the same intensity I had at the beginning of the game. The game moves slowly and the weariness starts to take over my body. Finally, we win the match 25-19. Hoping to win the third match and end the game, I walk into the court again. I look towards the bleachers and I see the people cheering our names, holding up signs in support for our team. I feel empowered again by the cheering, and I knew our team had to win this one. Despite the fact that I did not know most of them, it felt like we all belonged on the same team, fighting for the victory. I get subbed out of the game, take a sip of the water, and look at the score. 24-20, Colmack with the advantage. The other team serves the ball and our passer bumps it to the setter. The setter positions himself and sets it to the hitter. Rather than spike it as hard as he could, our middle hitter strategically tips it over the two blockers, faking out the opposing hitters and putting the ball in a position where no one expected it to land. Game over. As the ball hits the ground, the entire crowd rushes out of the bleachers, under the net and around the court they run. A massive pile develops in the center of the court as the people watching the game jump on top of us. Colmack had finally won, and no one came up to tell me that an Asian so short and fat could not play volleyball. I feel like bursting out in tears, as this literally came as our first win of the season. Despite the high emotions, I hold back the tears and join the crowd of people celebrating our team's victory as if they themselves had won the game.